Hi, my name is Maria del Mar Palacios, and I'm a marine ecologist, project manager, and science communicator at Deakin University's Blue Carbon Lab. I think I remember the day I was with my parents at kindergarten back home in Colombia, and they started cheering and celebrating. I thought it was because I had scored my first steps as a toddler. However, it seems that the news from Berlin was much more worthy of celebration. For as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a marine scientist. The passion for the oceans started with my parents. They loved the ocean so much that they actually called me Maria del Mar, which in Spanish means Mary of the Sea. As a child, I remember spending every holiday visiting amazing places along the coast of Colombia, both in the Pacific and the Caribbean. I particularly enjoyed learning scientific names and watching all of Jacques Cousteau's documentaries. Marine science is not that big in Colombia, so when I decided to make a career out of my passion, I really had to work hard to make this dream come true. The Blue Carbon Army breaks the wall between nature and Australia's corporate world by immersing corporate leaders into natural science. The Blue Carbon Army is an initiative driving environmental and behavioral change in corporate leaders by delivering an immersive experience into coastal wetland research. Our program addresses the lack of environmental literacy of Australia's corporate executives. By swapping their suits for gumboots and providing an educational experience in the field, we were able to connect executives with nature and science, strengthen their climate change knowledge, and even provide a catalyst for them to adopt sustainable behaviors in their industries and at home. It all started with the corporate banking giant HSBC and their commitment of $100 billion to sustainable finance. Soon after, the Blue Carbon Army was launched as a strategy to teach HSBC leaders about the environment and help them understand how the decisions they make in the boardroom can help reduce the effects of climate change. It was amazing to see the enthusiasm of participants in strapping on their gumboots and getting covered in mud, all in the name of science. At the beginning, some were a bit cautious about the mud and the uneven ground. However, after a couple falls, everyone was super committed to collecting salt cores in the mud and measuring mangrove trees. The Blue Carbon Army is unique because it engages the leaders that have the power to invoke change and steer Australia towards a climate ready economy. Society gets a massive win from the Blue Carbon Army. It empowers Australian industries to take part in building a sustainable future. It drives environmental and sustainable change in corporate leaders. And finally, it advances research on the use of coastal wetlands as a nature based solution to climate change. My family actually loves it. In fact, my husband has served as a volunteer in the field many times. He really enjoyed the adventurous nature of the wetland, but also the willingness of the executive leaders to dive into something completely foreign to them. Research looking at the ability of coastal wetlands to serve as carbon sinks only really kicked off about a decade ago. This means there's still heaps of scientific questions to answer with the help of citizen scientists. For example, how do we maximize carbon sequestration of coastal wetlands? Word part of the initiative keeps me awake at night. Given the educational and scientific success of this program, we're trying to find a way to expand it and include many of the other key players needed when building a sustainable future. For example, politicians, kids, local communities, and other industry leaders. We already started tailoring our program to these audiences, and we expect many great things